Welcome back, and joining me with more insight on the day's trade is Andrew Padoa from Sasfin Wealth. Thank you so much for your time, Andrew. It is just, I wouldn't say a bloodbath, but just red all over our screens globally. And that's not even just in the equity market. It is in the currency market as well. And analyst earlier also said even in the bond market. What's fueling all these jitters in the markets right now?
I think we've just got a bit of a risk-off mode at the moment, Zanati. We've had some information from the US regional banks. I think that's probably spooked investors a little bit. So there's not really a lot going on in the JSE at the moment. Like you said, there's a lot of red, a lot more red than green today. But a lot of the red's coming from the mining sector. So our gold and precious metals, which have had a remarkable run in 2025. There's been a bit of profit taking there as well, which I don't think is too much out of the ordinary given how well they've done.
Yeah, indeed. You actually mentioned the US regional banks, and it's quite interesting because earlier this week we had, I think, at least 6 US major banks coming out with earnings and topping analyst estimates. But then you have this huge concern on the US regional banks, something that we are not unfamiliar with. This has happened. What exactly is the pressure there?
So it seems that these regional banks are under a bit of pressure after disclosed losses from whether it's fraud or badly written loans, and that's shaken confidence. I don't know if these smaller banks have different kind of regulatory environments than the bigger ones, because the bigger ones seem fine, your JP Morgans of the world, but it's just these regional banks we're seeing issues with. So I think, and this has spooked investors a bit, I think here on out, we just got to watch out for default rises or more issues, and that stress could kind of escalate and broaden into different sectors.
Well, let's get into the JSE, and quite interestingly, there were no news that were out on SENS, but Sasol's share price actually took a 6% plunge. Not even 6%, I think it was over 7% at some point. And it's quite interesting because Sasol has been doing so well right now, but we're also familiar with these big swings in the share price, whether it's in the green or in the red. Is there any specific reason for this downward plunge today, or is it just one of those where we must just accept it?
Zanati, what we've seen is commodities are under pressure today. So oil is down quite a bit, gas is down quite a lot, and effectively that's Sasol's business. They rely on these things to be doing well for them to earn more money. So I think it's just Sasol shares have effectively followed the price of the commodities of which they sell.
All right. Well, let's go into Process because they seem to be progressing well with their takeover of JustEatTakeaway.com. Just talk to me about, I guess, what this means for Process and their growth trajectory going forward with this under their belt.
So, well, they're at 98% now, and they're trying to so complete controlling stake of Just Eat Takeaway. If I'm correct, they tried to buy these guys during COVID, but it was either competitors blocked them out or the regulator blocked them out, but they've got it and crack here at a cheaper price. So it seems like it's worked out quite nicely for them. But I think this is exciting for Naspers and Process. If we look at the Naspers and Process from the last decade, it just was Tencent. It was the Tencent story that was driving the price of Naspers and Process. And under their new CEO, who I really like, there's a lot more going on under the hood with Naspers and Process, and this is one example. So I think Naspers and Process shareholders should be quite excited with what they're seeing.
All right. Well, shareholders that have been excited are Zeda shareholders because they've been getting special dividends. Of course, from some corporate action that they've been embarking on over the last few years. They provided a trading update, but that NAV per share is down. And I'm wondering if we should be worried or if it's because of these special dividends where it doesn't really impact the trajectory of the investment holding company going forward.
So, Zanati, the company said that most NAV was a result of the special dividend. There was an element from businesses that have declined in value in the unlisted sector, but it seems primarily the special dividend in play. But on the 21st of October, I think they release their full results, so shareholders will have more information to digest then.
All right. Well, let's get into your stock pick for today. Where are you hanging your hat, Andrew?
Zanati, I'm going with S&P Global. Not a very sexy stock pick, kind of like my haircut here. But S&P Global's come off in the last couple of weeks. They've got very little competition. They're one of 3 rating agencies in the world. They've been doing this for 120 years. They offer an essential service to the world. So I don't see a lot going wrong with this company. And so for that reasons, I like it. And I think it's it's an attractive entry point at the moment.
Okay. I also like your haircut, Andrew. Thank you so much for your time and for just sharing your analysis on what has moved markets today and this week. That was Andrew Padoa from Sasfin Wealth.